Hey everybody, thank you for taking the time to visit my channel, and let's get right into it. So I have a very interesting article coming out of, surprisingly, from CBS News. And it has pertained to Greenland and us actually finding the oldest known DNA. And yes, it actually surpassed another mammal that we actually had. It was a mammoth that actually held the title. But now, guess things have to be broken, titles have to be broken. So let's get right into it. A historical and extraordinary finding, a new study published in Nature this week, revealed just how much the icy landscape has changed. Researchers found 2 million-year-old DNA, the oldest ever discovered, buried in the clay quartz sediment that was preserved in permafrost in Greenland's northmost point. A new chapter spanning 1 million extra years of history has finally been opened, and for the first time we can look directly at the DNA of a past ecosystem that far back in time. One of the researchers, Esko Willislev, from the University of Cambridge, said in a press release, quote, "DNA can degrade quickly, as we all know, but we have shown that under the right circumstances, we can now go back to further in time than anyone could have dared imagine." Willisler, along with Kurt H. Kjaer from the University of Copenhagen, uncovered 41 samples, each only a few millionths of a millimeter long, but with an invaluable amount of information. Those tiny samples revealed that the Frisian region was once the ancient home for many more animals, plants, and microcosms that are there today, including hares and lemmings. One of the most surprising discoveries, however, were traces of animals that were thought to have never been in the country at all, including reindeer and mastodons. The area where the DNA was found is usually only known for minimal plants, hare and musk ox, according to Nature. And what's interesting is them pointing out about how, quote, reindeers, according to paleontologists, should not have survived. Wilson told Nature of the animal, which lived wild in the country's west, they shouldn't even exist at the time. So that's very interesting that the climate was totally different around this time. And again, I cannot stress when I say about the Younger Dryas period, where Graham Hancock explains that the last cataclysm of the last drier period, the Ice Age, everything was totally different. The climate, the region, and the elevations of the water was totally different. And we can actually see that now with the droughts that are happening in the Far East, where we're actually finding numerous structures that were actually close to the bank, but due to the elevations of the water and the climate change, we see that the water started to rise up. So just remember, things look totally different back in the day. But to continue, researchers also found evidence that today's relatively empty environment was once a forested ecosystem, unlike any now found on Earth, according to Nature, filled with popular spruce and yew trees that don't typically grow that far north. No one, quote, "no one would have predicted this ecosystem in northern Greenland at this time," Willers said. Additional findings of horseshoe crab and green algae support the scientists' belief that the northern Greenland climate 2 million years ago was warmer than it is today. As incredible as their findings were, researchers are just excited about it could mean in the future studies that utilize ancient DNA. So yeah, I found this article really interesting, as in them far passing us of our finding of this new evidence of DNA that actually passed the old title with the mammoth. So I'm telling you guys, we're learning things every day. Now we're learning that microorganisms actually live longer than we expected. That's something to think about, people. You gotta have an open mind. Not everything is laid in bricks and stones. But yeah, so wanted to deliver this to you guys, and I hope you liked it. But anywho, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.